In the late 1700s, France was a nation on the edge of transformation. While King Louis XVI and the nobility lived in luxury at Versailles, ordinary people struggled to afford basic necessities like bread. Heavy taxes, widespread corruption, and a rigid social system left most French citizens with few rights and almost no political vote. Across the Atlantic, another struggle was underway. In North America, American colonists were fighting for independence from Britain. France spent money, weapons, and soldiers to support them. For many French soldiers and citizens, the American Revolution was more than a distant war. It was a powerful example of revolution. If Americans could challenge a king and create a new government, perhaps the French people could do the same. Protests and revolts soon spread across France. People demanded fairer laws, representation, and an end to centuries of inequality. These demands exploded in 1789 into one of the most famous revolutions in history, the French Revolution. At first, many hoped the French Revolution would bring peaceful change. The National Assembly limited the king's power and issued the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen, promising liberty and equality. But this revolution soon faced fierce reactions. Outside France, powerful European monarchies feared that the revolutionary ideas would spread to their own people. They declared war on France. Inside the country, political divisions deepened. Some wanted a constitutional monarchy, while others demanded a republic with complete end of royal power. Rumors of treason and conspiracy filled Paris. In response to both foreign invasions and internal opposition, the revolutionary government created the Committee of Public Safety, a 12-member group with extraordinary powers to defend the rebellion. One man became the most influential leader, Maximilien Robespierre. Convinced that the revolution was surrounded by enemies, he argued that terror was temporary but necessary reaction to protect liberty. The harsh reaction to a real and immigrated threats pushed France to one of the most violent periods in history, the Reign of Terror. From 1793 to 1794, the Committee of Public Safety ruled France with near total authority. Revolutionary tribunals were created to try those accused of being enemies of the revolution. In theory, these courts are meant to deliver justice. In reality, they often became tools of fear. Trials were rushed, evidence was weak, and defendants had little chance to defend themselves. Under the law of suspects, almost anyone could be arrested for showing insufficient enthusiasm for the revolution. Well, historians estimate that 40,000 people died during the Reign of Terror. Approximately 17,000 were officially executed, most by guillotine, while thousands more died in prison or killed without fair trial. At first, many working class citizens supported this extreme reaction. They believed the terror punished corrupt nobles and protected the revolution from collapse. But the terror did not stay focused on former elites. It widened until almost anyone could be targeted. Personal grudges, careless comments, or simple suspicion could lead to arrest. The original revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity were overshadowed by fear. A knock at the door could mean prison or death. What had begun as a revolution for rights had turned into a reaction that used terror to control people. The Reign of Terror produced powerful reactions, both inside France and across Europe. Some common citizens saw the terror as justice, proof that no one, not even nobles or former officials, was above the law. For nobles and elites, however, it was a nightmare. Property was seized, reputations destroyed, and survival depended on political loyalty. Beyond France's borders, European monarchies watched in shock. The execution of a king and violence of the terror frightened rulers who feared that similar revolutions might break out in their own countries. Many nations joined wars against France, hoping to crush the revolution before it spread. Despite this brutality, the terror failed to solve everyday problems like hunger and poverty, instead, building trust between governments and citizens. This extreme reaction created a system that relied on fear rather than consent. By 1794, even many revolutionary leaders began to fear the system they had created. No one felt safe, not even those in power. Robespierre, once praised as the defender of the people, became a symbol of unchecked authority and the dangers of using terror as a political reaction. By July 1794, members of the National Convention turned against Robespierre. He was arrested, tried, and executed by guillotine, the same fate he had approved for thousands of others. With his death, the Reign of Terror came to an end. The fall of Robespierre opened the door for a new phase reform. The end of the Terror forced France to confront a critical question. How could a nation born in revolution protect itself without destroying the very rights it claimed to defend? In the years that followed, the Committee of Public Safety lost its power, and France moved toward a new political system. New constitutions tried to prevent another dictatorship by limiting authority and restoring legal protections. The Reign of Terror became a turning point because it revealed the dangers of concentrated power and uncontrolled reaction. In response, many French citizens supported reforms that strengthened courts, protected individual rights, and reduced the amount of political violence. Although the terror was tragic, the reforms that followed pushed France farther away from the absolute monarchy and violent rule and closer to a more respective government and modern ideas of citizenship. The Reign of Terror stands as one of the darkest chapters of the French Revolution. Tens of thousands died, many without fair trials, during a time that had begun with promises of freedom and equality. Yet, this period also illustrates valuable reform. A bold revolution against a monarchy led to an extreme reaction of terror where leaders tried to protect their gains through fear. In the end, French society responded with reforms that reshaped its government, laws, and ideas about justice. By studying the Reign of Terror, we see how revolutions can inspire both progress and violence, how societies must balance passionate revolution, powerful reactions, and lasting reforms to truly protect people's rights.